How about some comments and questions? First weekend in February 2024. I know what that means. That means it's about to get crazy. February, March, April, May. We will, it'll be insane. Artillery Buff, a friend of the company. He comments a lot. Great deals, almost worth making the drive from Arizona. Well, of course it's worth making the drive from Arizona. Tennessee's awesome. So is Arizona. My sister lives there. White Bluff, White Pine, White, somewhere up in the high country. And Andy Calcutt, 2177, says, thanks to your videos, just subscribed and purchased an RX 7320 from Zach. I'm supposed to be delivered this coming Monday. Wow, well, thank you very much. I like selling stuff, and you're gonna love that tractor. That is my favorite. 95 Berry Street. Hey Mike, do you have a package similar to the Unicorn for the CK2610, CK2620 SCH cab? Thanks, brother. Yes, I do, and I just did the video, so look one video ago, and you'll find package deals for the CK2620 in a open station and a cab. Thank you for asking. Will you be getting a Kioti HX 1151? Michael versus 1QS wants to know.
You mean like this one?
That's right. If Kioti makes it, man, I sell it. I got it. Got, 250 trackers in stock. James De Silva, 9723. Thanks for the great advice, sir. 2 questions. How many years guarantee, and does it have a turbocharger on it? Thanks again. That was a video I did on your tractor just arrived, now what? The one I had there was a CK2610 when they made the 10 series, and that 35 horsepower does not have a turbocharger. And the TYM, I don't remember which one it was, but it 40 was it T474, and that also does not have a turbocharger. Kioti, if it has above 40 horsepower, so 45 and up, it is turbocharged. Kioti's got a pretty simple engine lineup, 3 cylinders up to 60 horsepower, and and 4 cylinders above that. The 3 cylinders are all the same engine. That's right. They are the same engine with different tuning, and at 45 horsepower, it gets a turbocharger. Makes for easy, makes for, my guys learning these products, the guys, when I say the guys, the service guys, they can certainly fix them because, well, they're all the same. Red Pool, 9323. Do you recommend Kioti filters or something equivalent? Now how am I going to answer that, knowing that the folks in Wendell, North Carolina, that send me all the tractors and all the parts will be watching this video? The Kioti filters are no more expensive than any other name brand filter, Fram, Purelator, whatever. But it's important to note that if you're not near a Kioti dealer and you happen to be going by an O'Reilly's auto parts store, and you sure, drop in, get a Purelator, get a Fram, get a name brand filter, and it doesn't void the warranty. It doesn't do anything other than make my parts department a little less profitable. But I can tell you the oil filters are like $9. Kioti does not stick it to you. Frank Copus, 686. Is there a 6-year powertrain warranty on the new TYM? I'm looking at the 494. Yes, sir, it does have a 6-year warranty. TYM, anything under 65 horsepower, anything under 65 horsepower has a 6-year warranty. The first 2 years are bumper to bumper, so if a headlight burns out or the horn doesn't blow, it's covered with no deductible. And after that, there's an additional 4 years on the engine and powertrain, engine, transmission, and drive shafts and axles, again with no deductible. Good warranty. Coyote's is very similar, by the way. Oh, I like this one. 95 Berry Street. As an owner of a JD Deere 2025, I am amazed that the CK2610, now the CX2610, handled those round bales. We did a video where we were picking up and toting around round bales. I cannot lift a round bale with the 2025. I had to push it along with the bucket. Very impressed. Future Coyote owner. Obviously of high intellect, this person is Mr. 95 Berry Street. The John Deere 2025 is a fine machine. It's truly a fine tractor. And for years, it was the one that every other tractor needed to step up and try to get there, because it was, for years, it was a standard of the industry. I would have to admit that it was a fine machine, and it might have been better, not quality, but better in capability than some of the stuff we offered at the time. But now, we've gotten there, Kioti has, and TYM has. I think that the two tractors that would, if you looked at these two and then looked at a 2025, the two that I sell would be the T25 by TYM, fantastic machine, and the equally fantastic CX2510. Both tractors can tote around round bales, among other things. But you did not buy a bad tractor. You have a good tractor. At least it's not breaking all the time. Matthew, by us, 4735. Been looking into different tractors. Can you give me your perspective on the CK2610 and now the CK2620, I'm sure you meant, and the TYM 2515? I know they're both excellent tractors. Difference between the two, and can the CK26, I'm going to say 20, have a backloader, I'm going to say backhoe, and if so, is it a subframe like the TYM 2515? Let's start at the end of the question. Yes, Kioti tractors that have backhoes all have a subframe, with the exception of the subcompact CS series. It has a unique system that was installed at the factory to make it capable of using its backhoe. If you were to buy a CS tractor, it would be a like CS2620S. And that actually means subframe, but it's a different type of subframe. It's permanently attached to the tractor, where the rest of them are permanently attached to the backhoe. What else we got here? We say, oh boy. Now, you know that when folks ask me to give opinions on this versus that, when I sell both of them, I can make no friends in Wendell, North Carolina or Rome, Georgia. Oh boy, and those are two direct competitors. You couldn't have said F-150 and Silverado any closer than the CK2620 and the TYM 2515. Oh man, these are just observations of mine, and these are worth 2 cents, and that's all they're worth. Both of them are fine tractors. Neither one of them's going to break. Neither one of them's going to drive you crazy, and you're not going to have oil leaks or wait for parts. And they're both fine machines, and you couldn't go wrong with either. I think the Kioti might be a little bit more refined, whether it be and it could just be me, and I can't even put my finger on it. Man, I bleed orange though. I mean, I've got an orange watch. So the CK2620 just does seem a little bit more refined to me. But the TYM 2515 has two things that I dig that the standard version of the CK2620 does not. One, it has a electric over hydraulic PTO. Turn the switch. I like that. The other thing is that as much as we brag about the Kiot's lifting capability in the bucket, 1,835 pounds, I can't say that enough. The TYM 2515 is actually 2,200 pounds. That is absolutely, hands down, the market leader in loader capability. Whoa, man, I can't, what would I buy? I don't know. You know what it would come down to is whoever had the best program at the time. Right now, Kioti has 0% for, I don't know, a whole bunch of months on the CK20 series, and that's very enticing. The TYM, just by the way they market their tractors, are generally cheaper to start with. So that might even equal out. But I would look at the deal. If I was walking into my store, I would have the salesperson, or me, or whatever, figure up both of them, cash and finance. And I think those two are so neck and neck, it would come down to which I thought had a better deal at the time. And that could change. That deals change like the wind. You know, the factory, you know, they have programs, they take programs away. Hey, my 2610 SE cut off. 2610 SE, by the way, automatically means it's a cab, because Kioti does not make an SE on the CK2610, CK2620. Hey, my 2610 SE cut off, and now it just turns over. What in the world? Don't even have 80 hours on it. Too far for me to bring in. Well, that is a mechanically fuel injected engine. It has no electronics, and let's think about this. What does a simple diesel engine need to run? It needs air and fuel and compressed heat. Now, the fact that it's turning over means the pistons are going up and down, and they are compressing the air in the combustion chamber to get the heat. So we got that. It has air because, you know, we have air. And the third one is fuel. I doubt he's out of fuel, but I guarantee the fuel that is in the system is nasty. It has either clogged the fuel filter or the fuel line. The person could be using a drop tank, Grandpa's old drop tank that's out in the field. It could be old diesel. It could have the diesel bug. Look that up. There's life, some kind of parasitic life that eats diesel fuel. But I'll bet it's just clogged. And I would start by servicing the filter, and I'd try to start it. And if that didn't work, I would start looking at the fuel tank and fuel line, because I guarantee that's what's wrong with it. Fuller's 1966. Do they still make this tractor? Seeing that TYM owns this now. I was showing a Branson, this goes back a while, Branson 5520H. Yes, there is not one single tractor that TYM has eliminated from Branson's lineup. The tractors were unique in their own right. They weren't duplicates to start with. And the 5520, magnificent machine, very strong, very tough, very big, and they absolutely make the TYM 5520. I've probably got 10 of them on the, more than that. 10 at this store and another 10 at the other store. Kurt and Farmer, 1565. Thanks for answering my last question on proper RPM range on the CK2620 hydrostat during break-in period mentioned in the manual. One more question. You had mentioned to run it at 2600 RPMs, but the manual on the CK2620 says it's rated at 2400, which is different than what it is listed on the CK2610, which is 2600. I thought those engines were the same. So has something changed? Got me, and I didn't, there's certain things you don't look up every time somebody asks. If somebody says, hey, what's the what is the proper operating speed of a 2620? Well, by golly, it's 2600 RPMs. And so I read this and I looked in the new manual info, the handout for the customer, and it is rated 2400. And of course, the 2610 was 2600. So I called my handy dandy engineer at in Wendell, and the answer is the tractor was hitting its RPM mark this time when it was rated at 2400 RPM. So by golly, that's where they rated it. And we all know that used to be the 35 horsepower engine. But now that we have federal emissions, it's only rated at 25. All right, Joe Hunter, Senior. Do you have an 8-foot disc harrow? I do not. Boy, that'd be a big, nasty thing that I don't. That is an implement that we would sell, once or twice a year. It serves a great purpose. And I don't stock them. If somebody wants one, I can get one with relative ease and speed, but it's just one of those things that will lay out there until somebody buys it. And I just hate seeing them lay out in the rain, and snow, and everything like that. Zach Hillman, like your Q&A videos, wondering and can't find the answer anywhere. If I don't know the answer, I'll make something up and it'll sound authentic. Can't find the answer anywhere on what kind of decibel reading there is on a cab, Coyote NS, series tractor at PTO speed. Really been thinking about upgrading from my current tractor, which is an LS 4140 with a cab. And it's a nice cabin, but seems awfully loud when the engine is revved up. Now, this gentleman called me a couple of days ago. He is in Wisconsin, or as he said it, Wisconsin, and nice guy. And I've never been asked that because I don't know why, because it would seem that if you're spending, $50,000 for a tractor, that would be something you'd want to know. He told me that there's an app for an iPhone that can actually measure decibels, and I promised him I would look into that, but that was just a couple days ago. But what an interesting question, and it's a good question. And this will be it for today. Let's see what the last one is. This is from 1 Million Startups. Your tractor deals are great, but your tractor trailer pick 3 is amazing. Just want to say thank you, even though many of us live too far from Tennessee to take advantage, but can use your numbers to get better deals locally. Yeah, I understand. We have customers all over the country. We have one customer in Alaska, and that's a long story, but we have one owner that's in Alaska. So being too close or too far, it's all relative, and that's fine. I get it, and that is what happens. I want to bring, when I started in 2015 with this new franchise, Nashville did not have a Kioti dealer, and that was perfect because the customers that I was looking for was somebody that was not blinded by the color of the tractor, that wanted to investigate, that wanted to compare, that wanted to learn what's out there. If your whole family has had 12 John Deeres in a row, okay, that's fine, and if they treat you well, so be it. I didn't want that customer in particular. Well, I want all customers, but that wasn't the focus. My focus was on people that maybe had never had a tractor, that had bought some land, that were using the internet to explore, and it has worked out quite well. And I'd like to think that the videos were part of getting people to know the brand that may have not been familiar with it. And yes, of course, I know that other dealers sell more tractors because of the videos than I do, but that's okay. Getting the word out about Kioti and now about TYM is important. When I started with Kioti, there were people every day that would come on the lot and they'd say, was that Chinese? Well, no, it's South Korean. They literally had never heard of it and just assumed that it was an off-brand or a knockoff of a Kubota. Hey, is that a knockoff of a Kubota? No, they're both fine tractors, but they're both completely different companies. And it took a lot to overcome people's unfamiliarity with the Kioti product. And TYM, not quite as bad, didn't have TYM representation that was much of anything in Middle Tennessee, so some, but people I think had at least heard of it. Kioti has come a long way. When we started selling in 2015, Kioti was 10th or 11th in sales in North America for tractors under 100 horsepower, which, believe it or not, is considered compact. Compact tractors are tractors under 100 horsepower. They were 10th or 11th. Now, it's only been 8 years. They float between 3rd and 4th. I mean, it's incredible. Talk about a rocket ship. Put out a good tractor, have it ridiculously reliable, and have good dealers to sell and service, and you can't screw this up. So I'm yammering along, putting people to sleep, I'm sure, and apparently my camera ran out of storage. Now, the world is made up of scientific marvels, and we can do a lot of everything that is just unimaginable as far as technology, and yet my camera doesn't throw up an arm and a flag and say, yo, Mike, I'm out of storage. It just lets me yammer. Anyway, that's it. That was the last question, and I hope you'll subscribe. I've been stuck at 10,300 for a long time, and it really helps on the YouTube analytics to get you, when somebody looks for compact tractor or something. I'd sure like to be the guy that pops up. If you have it in your heart to subscribe, I would truly appreciate it, and we'll do this again very soon. Thank you.